Have you ever been denied a purchase? Are you looking to purchase a home or a car? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I can assist. My name is Shanada Harris. I am a financial specialist offering solutions to your financial matters. We have an aggressive program that gets you results within 45 to 90 days. Contact me, Shanada Harris, at 734-752-8818 for your free consultation. Welcome to Let's Fix It with Shanada. Sit back, relax, and take some copious notes as we provide you with some awesome solutions to your financial matters. Invite your friends and family to join us. And if you're watching this live via Facebook, like, tag, share. Sharing is caring. I am Shanada Harris, and I am super excited to be back here with you guys on today. Last week we had a very, very exciting episode with my lovely special guest, Miss Chisa Parker, a mom of 9 children who graduated nursing school during the pandemic. Chisa gave a powerful testimony of her financial journey to successfully reach her goal with home ownership and repairing her credit. But what you did not see after the show was the discussion and how she wanted to continue her journey and take full advantage of the program to move her score further and executing her will, trust, power of attorney services to help protect her family in the event something should happen to her. And I really enjoyed my time with Chisa and look forward to the continuation of her journey and her success story. So who will be the next success story that we will feature here on the Let's Fix It with Shanada show? We want to be a blessing to others. Keep in mind the information may or may not be for you, but if you know someone who this may fit, please pass it on. Well, this particular month of September, the 9th month of the year, is my birthday month, and I'm super excited. And I want to be a blessing to others, so I decided to run something very special to each of you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away free vacation vouchers the entire month of September. And the way that you get the vacation voucher is through referrals. So every referral that you send me, you'll get a vacation voucher. And if they sign up for any of the services, they will in turn get a vacation voucher as well. This is the best compliment that you can give me, and the best birthday gift you can give me as well is a referral. So if you know someone who can use these services that I offer, please send them my way. I'll be sending you a voucher, and they can choose a voucher as well. And you will get to choose from exciting places: Las Vegas, Daytona Beach, Orlando, and so many more. And traveling is one of my favorite hobbies. So I figured, this has a flair of me and just a reward to say thank you. So understand, the persons who send me the most referrals will get a very special gift from me. October 6, 2021. The referral contest will run starting today through September 30th, midnight. So I hope that each and every one of you will be so inclined to be engaged to send as many referrals as you possibly can. And this also helps me elevate to another level within our company as well, as I am seeking a promotional level up for this month. So this will, like I said, position me greatly. So today we're going to talk about we're going to have a credit talk, basically. And we're going to talk about some things concerning credit and where we are in this particular climate with COVID. So let's start off with a faith walk talk. In 2 Thessalonians 3:10, for even when I were with you, we give you this command. If you're not willing to work, let him not eat. Proverbs 13:11, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. Proverbs 13:22, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. God intended us to live life with purpose, on purpose, to serve him, the Father. The Bible also tells us to honor the Lord with our first fruit of produce. Ask yourself this question: are you honoring the Lord? We want to be pleasing in his eyes. So the reason that I started today's talk off with a faith talk is because are we walking in our faith? Are we really doing the things that we need to do financially that will be glorifying to the kingdom? And those are questions that you have to ask yourself, because you need to know that answer. And if the answer is no, then we need to do what I call a reality check, which leads me into today's talk. Prior to COVID-19, we have had over 65 million people with less than perfect credit. Now that the number has increased drastically due to COVID, we're at over 100 million people with less than perfect credit. So just know that you're not the only one that is suffering with less than perfect credit. Understand something. Your neighbor might be driving a new car, but they still may very well have a low credit score, but just paying a higher interest rate in order to have that luxury car. So don't ever think that everybody has good credit that's driving a new car. That's not necessarily true. I know some of you are thinking, I'm by myself and I'm the sole breadwinner, and I do the best that I can with what I have to be the provider for my household. And sometimes that you feel like you just can't make ends meet. Well, I'm here to tell you, sometimes we have to take an analysis and do short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. As I said earlier in the show, last week's guest, Chisa Parker, she's a mom of 9 children. And some of us complain with 1, 2, 3 children. She has 9. She finished nursing school during the pandemic. We make excuses for different things that we find to be difficult. But we need to stop making the excuses and find a solution to what we need to do to move and propel our lives forward. So with that, few people are on a budget but have no clue on savings and no clue on credit. So I want to give you some information. Let's think about a pie, right? When we're talking about credit. And 35% of that pie makes up your payment history. So the goal is that you have 100% payment history, paying on time. That's going to help position your score. And if you're having issues, you want to put certain mechanisms in place, whether you're paying automatically or whether you're paying the method that I teach, which is if your bill is $100, you break that bill into 2 payments before the due date. because the due date is the reporting date to the credit bureaus. You want to learn that aspect of it because that's going to be key. The amount owed, it makes up 30% of your credit score. So the deal with that is keeping your debt low, not owing a whole bunch of debt, keeping that under 30%. But in order to make sure that you're in a decent percentile, the lower, the better. It helps you. 15% of that pie is your credit history, the length of your credit history. So the longer you have great credit and items reporting to the credit bureaus, the better it positions your credit score. New credit. That doesn't necessarily mean go out and let's get crazy and apply for each and every credit card that is offered to you. That's not what I'm saying. You want to have a mixture as well of installment credit and revolving credit. Your installment credit is going to be like your car payment, your mortgage. Your revolving credit is your credit cards. You want to have a mixture of both. And if you recall, and I'm going to continue to refer back to Chisa's statement, once she got on the program, we got her into Navy Federal Credit Union. She established a relationship with them and got approved for a high dollar value credit card. And that's where you want to be. You don't need like several. You just only need a few that is going to be worth having because that just helps position you. So when you need emergency funds, you have a credit card that you can turn to and pay that emergency funds down in installments. I always say to a person that is on the journey to financial success to get approved for a home, if you establish that relationship and you get approved, you use that credit card to help furnish your home, to buy certain appliances or things, because that will be a bigger help to you where you don't feel like you are like out of pocket with so many things. You're able to control it a little bit better. So those things are great. Now let's talk about credit myths. There are 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And do you know that the 3 credit bureaus are private entities that are not owned by the government? However, they govern so much of what you and I as consumers can and cannot do, what we can and cannot purchase, and how much of a purchase you can and cannot make. Bankruptcy does not have to stay on that credit report for 7 to 10 years. There is ways to remove that from the credit report because a bankruptcy can damage your score and impact the interest rates that you pay in the long run. Understand, paying interest rates, high interest rates especially, increases the money that you're spending. It doesn't decrease it at all. It increases the amount of money. So the lower the interest rate that you have, the better off you are because you're able to save more money. That's why it's so important. Like if you're car shopping, you want to be able to get a low interest rate loan so you're not paying for the car more than what you have to. So like your B lots, they're going to give you a 20+% interest rate on cars because number one, they know that 9 times out of 10, you don't have the best credit score to get qualified. There's some other financial responsibilities and issues there that concern them, but they're going to take that risk, but you're going to pay for them in the end. So what people don't understand is sometimes it results into you paying almost double for one car. And that car depreciation value just tanks. Using debit will help build your credit as well. One card that I really, really love is the Apple Card. The Apple Card, I tend to use it, pay it off. Use it, pay it off. And it's just minute things. But the great part about it, as I use it, I earn money. So it benefits me to use it and pay it off. So if I buy gas, I put my gas on there, and immediately, versus using my debit card, I pay it right back off. So it's just like it came out of my debit card or checking account to begin with. So you never miss a beat. You're going to spend it anyways. But it also helps build your credit. Canceling and closing credit cards will not increase your score. It won't. A lot of people think, oh, I've got these 10 bills. They're on my credit report. Let me go pay them off. Well, paying off those credit cards, number one, kills the history that we talked about. And that makes a good vast percentage of your credit score. So you're going to lose points versus gain points. Your personal information does impact your score. So having the wrong address, wrong information pertaining to your personal business it's damaging to you. So you want to make sure that on all 3 credit reports, your name is the same. Your address is the same. If you live on an avenue, you want to print out avenue. If you live on a street and it's listed as a street, you want to list street. If it's a circle, you want to list it as a circle. And you want to have that consistency across all 3 credit reports, because it will make a difference on you getting approved. Believe it or not, something as minute as such. You are allowed 1 free credit report per year on www.annualcreditreport.com. However, during the season that we're in with COVID, they have not limited it to a number of free reports. So you can get it as frequently as you need it, due to the fact of the high volume of fraudulent activity that is going on with unemployment and other fraudulent activities that impact your credit score. So make sure you check your credit report just like you're checking your bank account, because you may find something on there that looks suspicious. And in the event that you do, it needs to be reported so it can be removed. Or if you see a whole bunch of things, then perhaps you may be under that data breach. Because keep in mind, there are several data breaches that were out there, Equifax and Experian being one. So you want to be able to make sure you're not impacted that way and somebody else has not stolen your identity. Because trust me when I tell you from personal experience, having stolen identity, your credit card being stolen, it's a hassle, but it's so much worth it when you have the necessary security measures in place to protect yourself and to protect your finances, because there is nothing more violating to a person than to have your finances be invaded due to the fact that you've been hacked, an account of yours have been hacked into. So please take my word of advice on that. That is super key, is having some type of protection there for identity theft. Here is an easy way to determine what your needs are based upon your credit score. If you are late on bills, the bill collectors are calling, writing, you have student loans, recently have filed for bankruptcy, have lots of medical bills and inquiries, you definitely would probably be what I would consider a strong candidate for credit repair. So I'm saying all these things because sometimes some people think they are a candidate for credit repair when actually you're a candidate to learn how to balance and tweak your finances. So if you're paying your bills late, paying them on the due dates, not paying full amounts or minimum payments over the limit, we have some work to do with your habits. So for the sake of this session, let me give you some tools to start to help you, to assist you on your journey. So govern yourselves accordingly with this information. Paying your bills on the due date is the reporting date to the credit bureau. So pay your bills at least 3 days before the due date to allow ample processing time. If possible, break your payments into 2 payments. For example, if your Kohl's bill is due on the 1st, then you want to break that Kohl's bill that's $100 into 2 $50 payments. So I would suggest pay $50 on the 15th and then pay another $50 on the 25th or 26th, whichever is best for you. And what that does is trick the algorithms of the system into receiving 2 payments, even though it's just solidifying the 1 payment that was actually due. You do this for a consecutive 2 to 3 months, I can promise you, you're going to see a boost in your credit score. And you do that with all the bills that are that are reporting to your credit report, including your car payment. I love doing that way because number one, it helps me stay focused with my finances, keeps me on a budget, and it helps increase the score as well. So if you have a credit card, you pay off every month, stop it. Leave at least $3 to $5 on that credit card. So if you have to go charge a pair of socks, a lipstick or something, do that, but never pay them off because that takes away the amount owed, but most importantly, that credit history. This will also boost your score as well. I have so many different people that are not clients that take heed to these credit tips, and they know that they work, and it gives me great joy to know that people are really taking heed to the credit tips and putting them in motion and making sure that they work for them. So learn to schedule your bills, especially if you're paying online, which most of us are. I don't know too many people that write out their checks anymore, mail them, or go into a lot of physical establishments to pay their bills. Most of us are using the online payment method. Some of you may need to add a secure card to help build your credit, and I can assist with that as well. Trade lines can be helpful to build your credit score. So I offer a program called Credit My Rent. But before I go to Credit My Rent, I want to talk about this program called Self. And I have a referral link for Self. Self is a self-lending program. It's your money and you borrow against your money by using it towards a credit purchase. And it reports to all 3 credit bureaus, and it is an incredible program. You're probably seeing it advertised, but that is one of the products that I refer my clients to. And then also with the program that I have, as a matter of fact, my producer just popped up the Self referral link. Use this particular code right here as a referral link to get you going if you are in need of a self-lending program, a credit builder program to help build your credit. Now back to the trade lines. A lot of people tend to think that purchasing a trade line is going to help you. Yes, it does. It has some pros and cons, and let me tell you why. Adding somebody else's history is only a short-term thing. And some banks look at trade lines as fraud because technically you're just an authorized buyer on someone else's account, but it's technically not your spending habits. And some lenders will look at your actual spending habits. They want to know about you. Are you trustworthy? Are you responsible enough to handle whatever loan that you are asking them for? And using someone else's history is great. However, some lenders are very strict with that. And you will know that when you get ready to go for a pre-approval and you have a bunch of trade lines that don't belong to you onto your credit report, they will flag them as fraudulent. And 9 times out of 10, they will deny you. So let me tell you of an awesome program that we offer that we have tweaked in the last few months to assist you. And when I say tweaked, we've actually made the process go faster to be able to add the trade lines to your TransUnion and Equifax credit reports. It's called Credit My Rent. And if you're renting a home, renting an apartment, why not get that credit added to your credit report to give you that trade line to your credit report? And it's adding anywhere from 25 to 100 plus points onto your credit reports. And it's an awesome program that helps and gives you that boost within 30 days. Isn't that awesome? So you can get excited about a boost. So let's just say, for instance, you are ready to purchase that home. You needed a 680 or a 720 to get you there, but you were missing some points. You've done everything that you needed to do. You've cleaned up your credit report. You've gotten that part done, but you're still looking for some extra points. Well, this right here, I promise you, it will give you what you need in terms of an increase to get you to where you want to go. And that is the key, is knowing which programs. And if you are a client of mine, this is one program that I highly recommend for you if you are getting ready to prepare yourself for home ownership. So that is definitely a must. Ultimately, making a cohesive financial plan is key. So if you need to schedule your free consultation, please get with me as soon as possible so we can get you on track. Yes, we're in September. And I do have some customers that started October last year and the previous year and walked into the brand new year 4 months later with a pre-approval. So it can be done. It's just based upon your willingness to allow the process to work. As we say, trust the process. So once again, it's one of those short-term sacrifices for a long-term gain. And you and your family is ever so worth it. And one thing that I pride myself on is our Mission 800. This year, we are focused on helping 800 people to financial success. And if that is you or someone you know, this is the program that we want to set for you, and we want to be able to help you. And then also, with this being my birthday month, we want to give you a nice little vacation voucher. Now, as we segue into Shanada's Pearls of Wisdom, I have a special video I want you to watch. I'm a great fan and have always admired Miss Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Maya Angelou. And I want you to watch this special video from a life class.
Growing up, reading was my passion. Books were my escape into a world that went beyond my front door. I loved her books. I read I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings I don't know how many times before I was an adult. From the time I opened the first page and what you looking at me for? Didn't come to stay, only came to say Happy Easter Day, struck me because I was a black girl, just like Maya Angelou, growing up in the church, being raised by my grandmother, doing Easter pieces. Imagine growing up and getting to become friends, not just friends, sister, daughter, mentor to Maya Angelou. Unimaginable to me that that would happen. I would now say that she is one of the greatest influences in my entire life. She is like a mother to me, a sister to me, a friend to me, has been a great mentor for me. And I have sat at her table, sat at her feet, sat on the side of her bed, sat on her floor, listened to her words of wisdom for years. And I remember the very first time I went to visit her, I could not believe, it was one of those out-of-body things. I could not believe I am in Maya Angelou's house. I grew up, it just makes me tear to think about it. I grew up reading her books. She was like the biggest rock star in the world to me. And now I'm sitting in her house. And the first thing she did? She cooked a meal for me and she read me poetry. I sat at her feet and she read Paul Laurence Dunbar to me out loud. Unbelievable. And I was telling her my life story and sharing with her some of the mistakes I'd made in my 20s. And I shall never forget, in that moment, she said to me, that was when you're 20, and now you're in your 30s. When you know better, you do better. It's one of the great lessons of my life that I loved so much, I wanted to share it with our viewers. And not only did I share it, every time I got a chance to say those words, I did. Exactly 43 times.
Maya Angelou had said this to me once, and I was talking about mistakes I had made in my youth. And she was saying, you did in your 20s what you knew how to do. And when you knew better, you did better. And you should not be judged for the person that you were, but for the person that you're trying to be and the woman that you are now.
I started selling drugs for a little while. I got caught up doing that, but I'm not even...
And when you know better, you do better.
Right.
Right. So, Ellen, as their mother, why did you keep all of this a secret?
I felt it would protect my girls. If I had had him arrested, they would have to tell over and over at that point. I wanted to keep the friendship.
Well, this is the interesting thing, and when you know better, you do better.
That's all anybody can do is
speak from what they know.
That's right.
And when you know better, you do better, Dennis.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Do you know how freeing those words are? How freeing they can be for you? What it means is you don't have to hold yourself hostage to who you used to be or anything you ever used to do. Because who has lived and hasn't made mistakes? When I think about my 20s and what a foolish girl I was and how I would give over my power to men who really didn't mean me well, but now I hold no grudges against them either because I realized I'm the one who gave over the power because I didn't know any better. And now that I know better, I know I don't have to do that again. It's one of the most powerful lessons any of us can ever know.
Thank you, Auntie Oprah. You guys, I tend to channel into my inner Oprah. I've always been an admirer of Oprah Winfrey prior to becoming a host of a podcast. And the message here is so strong and so appropriate for the time that we're talking about today with Credit Talk. And I want you to understand, no matter what your journey has been, it doesn't have to remain the same. You can take the necessary steps to change the trajectory of your tomorrow. It doesn't have to be the way that it is. It can be different. And as she stated, and as Dr. Maya Angelou stated, when you know better, you do better. And with that being said, you guys, I want you to trust the process and have an awesome week. Talk to you next week.